And welcome to this week's FridAI with me, Billy McLaughlin, or as somebody rebranded it last week, Hair and Headphones, because the headphones are back. Unfortunately, I didn't charge up my microphone, so they are making an appearance again. Um, I have some really exciting news this week from OpenAI, very, very hot off the press, only announced yesterday. They've created a new model. Now, a lot of us know ChatGPT 4, but they've created another mini series or another series of large language models. And you can tell it's a completely different series because they've started the branding at 1. So we've got O1 as their first model. And this is a large language model that can apparently think and reason, which is quite exciting, especially after I tried it and I can see that you can follow the thought process of the model, which is pretty crazy. So I asked it as an example, could you tell me why a UK business should incorporate? And what it did is it gave me an answer, and then I had the option to expand on this. So I could see that the model, first of all, thought, what is incorporation? And then it moved on to what are the benefits of incorporation? So definitely have a look at this. If you are a Plus or a Team subscriber, you'll be able to find this in the drop down. And also, just to be wary, so you don't go full steam ahead, there is a limit of 30 to 50 messages per week, depending on which model you're using. And this is because it's so expensive to run, I guess. It's also not connected to the internet yet. So if you are looking for web browsing capabilities, stick to your ChatGPT 4. But something else just to note is the safety of this. I think it's always really, really important that I cover the safety when we're talking about new models. They've done a safety run on this. They do something called jailbreaking. So, if you're into artificial intelligence, you will have heard of this. And jailbreaking is essentially a way of testing how well it follows the rules. So, they've done some jailbreaking safety. And just for reference, ChatGPT 4 usually scores around 22 out of 100. O1, I have to keep remembering if it's O1 or 10. O1 is scoring around 84 out of 100. So the safety is very, very good. The jailbreaking is much harder to do, if that's the right way around. So, yes, do have a look at this. The other news from OpenAI, which I did promise you last week, I said I would touch on strawberry, but I quite like to keep these short and sweet. That was a pun I did not intend to do. I like to keep these videos relatively short and sweet. So, in terms of strawberry, the things that you need to know is that it is effectively looking at an early release. Now, strawberry is something that Sam Altman's been teasing a hell of a lot. We actually don't know what they're teasing, which is a bit frustrating. But they initially said that October, November would be the release date. They're now saying it's going to be probably the 20th of September to try and sneak it in before the iPhone 16 and maybe try and take a bit of the shine away from that. But we will see. The one thing I do know is, again, this is supposed to be a model that thinks, and I don't think there'll be capability for it to do images just yet. So definitely keep an eye out on it. I'll obviously keep my ear to the ground, but I'm not convinced. I've also heard some of the price points are going to be ridiculous. So if you are holding out for strawberry, just be mindful of that. I don't want to be negative, but there are two things I would say here. Not only is the price point, I mean, when I say it's predicted to be high, I'm talking 4 figures. Not only does the price point seem to be high, I would say with these models, we need to kind of get people using what's already available better before more's released. But hey ho, I'm not in charge of the release of a £150 billion business. So, in the accountancy space, a couple of things to announce. Genesis have finally launched. So, for those of you that have seen these at a few conferences, they have Jack. They sell this more as a service than a software, and Jack is a bookkeeping tool for your business that uses AI. So, it extracts the details from invoices, etc. But one of the things I wanted to shout about from Genesis' point of view is that it's able to Google. So, if you get a supplier invoice and maybe it's never been taught on this, it can actually go out and find out what it is. So the accuracy of the actual categorization of what that is for is very, very good. The second thing I want to announce, and this is slowly becoming one of my favorite softwares on the market, is Expert. So I'm going to link Will in the comments below. I hope he watches all the way to the end here so that he knows why he's been linked in. And it's because I would really like him to share with you a video that I've seen of their new custom experts. So they have a template gallery that you can go in and use, but also you can create your own. And what these are essentially prompts that are already created for you. So a good example would be to can you do me a review of the balance sheet? And then the AI model will do you that review, which is amazing. But you could also make it quite tailored. So you could say, could you let me know when Bob Smith's wages exceed £10,000 a year? Or perhaps you then want them to go a little bit deeper. So you can then not only get it to generate that, but then you can ask it further questions, which is super exciting because it just kind of means that you get that deeper dive and can go into as much detail as you want. The final bit of this video that Will showed me, which I love, is you can actually then export it into Excel, which as accountants is our safe space. So for example, if you wanted it to raise some issues for you, can you tell me any issues that we need to be aware of? You can then export them into a spreadsheet and share that with your team. So very, very exciting. That's everything from me this week. I would like to say, when it comes to artificial intelligence, to be mindful that your clients are going to be using this day to day. Even my gym now has a chat bot for me to ask for meal recommendations or workout plans. So we're really seeing this in our day to day life, which is great, but please don't be left behind. And if you have any questions or anything that you've been using that you really love, you want to shout about, any sort of tips and tricks for other people, please do share them or drop me a message. I would love to have a conversation with you. Have a great Friday, everybody. Have a great weekend, and hopefully see you at Accountex North next week.